Okay, hello.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the stream.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Sorry, the word's bad. Hard to speak.
No, that's totally fine. Okay, I didn't realize that you were going to be both sharing the same microphone. Otherwise, we could have just done a direct call. But I think being in the general voice channel is fine.
Yeah.
All right. So I've got your game up on the screen here. I'll go ahead and download it. So everyone, prepare for just a few drop frames. Here we go. Sorry, it's going to be a little bit laggy, but at least there's unlike this afternoon.
Yeah. I capitalized index.
All right, so here we go. All right, Made with Godot, Pied Piper. Let me go ahead and share the link in the chat here. Duck VV, I'm. What is this narrative that's happening in the chat here? Please don't hide in the basement. You don't have to hide in the basement. All right. So Piper's Swarm. Is there anything? Is the game going to explain the controls, or should I be looking at the page here?
The controls are explained in the game now.
Okay. Cool.
But they're on the page.
Yep. Okay. So I'll go ahead and get the game open, and if you are ready, I can start asking the interview questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good for that.
Great. So first of all, actually, before I even get to the questions, I should be asking, who am I speaking to here?
I'm Max, or I guess my screen name is Shepard.
Mhm.
And I'm the artist, and Cassie's the coder, I guess.
Programmer. I wrote the code, built the game. Yeah.
Sounds good. So here we go. Okay. Now I've got it. exe in this window. There we go. All right. We're going to run the program.
There is a bug in the on the version that's on itch right now, where if you touch the volume controls, they get locked to your mouse. Then they get locked to your movement keys. So you probably want to not do that.
That's okay. I'm used to managing the audio externally through a just Windows volume mixer.
Just as a thing, because people kept running into it.
Sorry about that. Okay, so Max or do you prefer Shepard or Max? What is your preferred alias?
I guess Shepard's appropriate right now since you're interviewing me, but I feel fine being called either.
Okay. And then
You can just call me Cassie.
Cassie? Okay. No problem. Well, so how did you decide what you were going to make for the jam?
We sort of... Alright, so the way it worked for us is that this is our first jam. Cassie and I have made jams before, but this was our first jam with a music and sound friend helping us. So we got into a call that lasted 2 hours, and we just gave ideas based on the theme. And then we scrapped all of those ideas, and we wanted to make something completely entirely else just based on one joke about sheep.
Right.
And then instead of sheep, we went with rats instead.
Yeah, that is what happened.
So
if I recall correctly.
Yeah, so we decided that something fun would be to have herding a specific animal and collecting them and moving them around for them all to accomplish your task is just a cute way to do join together. So we ended up with Pied Piper game.
Yeah, I think I was the one that brought up the Pied Piper as a specific inspiration.
You also just animals in general.
I was the one having problems with the themes we had before with the game concept because I don't know. We kept trying to do something with music, and I'm not a musical person, so I just didn't get it. But then it ended up still sort of being music based anyway, with the Pied Piper and the music changing with the different commands.
Got a couple people saying that really love the concept, and the style is really cute. So, Shepard, you were the one doing the art for this game, right?
Yeah, everything except for the grass, because I struggled a lot with it. This was my first time doing pixel art. I just do like character art normally, and animation.
Hand-drawn stuff.
Hand-drawn stuff, yeah. Cassie is more pixel art and game stuff. I just do this because it's an excuse to draw. And then I have no clue how to do grass. I don't get it at all. So Cassie did the grass. I did everything else.
Okay. That's totally fine. So how did you arrive on the idea of like rats devouring corn?
Well, it was all based on the fairy tale of the Pied Piper, which, if you're not familiar with it, is basically this the Pied Piper is this bard that's hired by the town of Hamlin to get rid of their rat infestation. And in the original fairy tale, they don't pay him after the fact, and so he takes revenge on the town by abducting all the children using the same song that he lured the rats away with. And then the idea was more of just a less aggressively grim version of that tale.
All of the rats are destroyed. I've never seen all the rats get destroyed.
I was waiting for you to catch up to the reaction on the stream. It's just you and me, buddy. I found one. It's just you and me against the world. Oh no, there's another one. It's just us guys. All right, okay. There's 3 of them. Okay. We're gonna rebuild. We can rebuild.
Yeah. In the version that's up on itch right now, the rats don't respawn, but we have a post jam build that's just waiting for judging to end to upload. That one has respawning rats, 2 game modes. I don't know. It's just I don't know. We liked what we did so much that I wanted to like finish it up a bit more than we had.
Yeah, this was probably our most positive game jam experience in terms of a complete product and like fun.
Nice. Man, how many unique frames are there on the corn being eaten?
The corn,
there are
4. There are 4. There's fully eaten, 2 in between, and 1 completely eaten frame. But I think it like the motion, the pivots. I don't know anything about programming. The motion that Cassie put on it made it look even like a lot more energetic.
Yeah, the fact that there's like more than the regular and then the eaten frame of corn already looks really good. All right. We're getting some F's in chat for all the rats that I sent to their doom.
That poor rat army.
Because I guess when the rats don't have a whole target to go to, and you push the button down, then they just kind of pull us into one space and got kind of destroyed. All right. Okay. So yeah, I agree, Zero Iguana. I also love the motion of the corn. I think it looks the fact that like it's really like rustling around as you're moving through it. That's really dynamic. All right. Well, this one rat, we're doing a pretty good job with this guy. And is this the end of the game? Just to get this far here?
Yeah, we didn't have time to like add end or any kind of end states to it during the jam period because we had a small dip in productivity in the middle there somewhere. But yeah, the version that I have sitting on my hard drive does have like an end and stuff.
We had
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we had an ambitious dream. Our music friend and I, Cassie less so, we had an ambitious dream to put a corn-based golem boss fight, but that didn't work out. It didn't end up happening.
Yeah, it's and just to respond, Lurk not a lie. There is nothing I can do against the cats directly. We can only hide against them.
Yeah. I mean, what can a rat do?
I mean, if there's a swarm of rats, I think they'd overwhelm the cat.
They'd overwhelm a corn golem, perhaps.
For one thing, there was we played after the jam ended. We played with the idea of having the cats follow you while the rats were hiding. But usually you would still have rats that weren't in holes, and those would just get got as anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just, if I'm being honest, I just didn't think of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, the cats are meant to represent a constant hazard. Like, if you had a way of dealing with them, then it would just, you know, it wouldn't be like it would be removing an element of challenge from the game.
Yeah.
You know, unless you were trying to do like a more of a Pikmin type thing. We're getting some interesting suggestions from the chat here. So Golem get more and more hungry, aka losing health. The faster you get the corn, the less corn there will be for the Golem, aka less time for you to evade it till defeated. Interesting. Corn is a currency to breed more rats, possibly.
No possibility, yeah.
Right. I mean, I do think the pixel art in the game looks really good. You know, especially if this is like your first crack at it. Like, I wouldn't have guessed if you hadn't said so.
Thank you. I realized that it just felt like drawing on a really small scale, and I think I just didn't really do a lot of things that are like typically done. When I see like tutorials, it's very methodical.
Mm-hmm.
I just put the stuff there and hoped, and then I had to fix a lot of stuff like the corn.
Mm-hmm.
I drew the corn way too large. I had to fix that.
So let's say it's a learning process, right?
Yeah, it was with the original. He ended up having to thicken out the lines because the corn's twice the size of the player on the resolution.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to scale it down and then the lines were too thin and it looked weird. So we just fixed that with thickening the lines. Is all.
But thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment anyway.
So this is why we've got like HD corn.
Yeah.
Well, I think it works though. HD corn. I mean, like the whole thing with corn is there's so much like tiny, minute detail with all the kernels. So I think it's like, again, if you hadn't pointed it out, I wouldn't have noticed that it's at a different pixel density than everything else.
You know, the generally pretty flat style does hide that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what do you think? Do you see much pixel art in your future, having taken this crack at it?
I do see myself making more games with Cassie,
Mhm.
and I've already taken sort of steps towards learning more pixel art. So maybe only for games. I like my other stuff, my own stuff for myself.
Mhm.
But it is a really interesting medium.
Yeah, the only I the only reason we the only reason that I really asked him to do pixel art for this jam was because we had a shorter time frame,
Mhm.
and I felt like because I'm more experienced with pixel art, I feel like, and it takes me less time than traditional drawing. So it's easier for me to fill in gaps that are left just by time
Mhm.
and engagement during that. But we have, yeah, on longer jams I don't see any reason not to do whatever.
Yeah.
It's just it's what we went with this time, and we had our reasons, and it turned out good.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this was the problem. I realized
There
that.
is there is one unreachable corn.
Yeah, I noticed at the very beginning.
It's stuck inside the outside tiles of the walls.
Mhm.
I last minute level changes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
jam 48 hours. Submitted it 5 minutes before the closing. So yeah.
So here, what I'm demonstrating the way that I was able to cause the cat to wipe out all of my rats in one swoop previously is that when there are no holes on screen, the rats have nowhere to pathfind to, so they just cluster around the player, and then one swoop and they're all dead. So we've got a lot of conversation about corn and corn-based weaponry in the chat here. So I imagine the development just being people constantly talking very professionally, but going, but the corn though, and then they just made better corn rather than the other features. So yes, we do have the one unreachable corn. If consumed, it breaks the game. Would have spent the first 20 minutes trying to get the corn. Well, thankfully I saw pretty early on, it's like, yeah, they really seem to be struggling to get that one. So I was just like, it's probably just a unreachable corn. And then, yeah, you chimed in right then to say that it is in fact the case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, one thing I want to note, because this was something we were all pretty proud of, is that a lot of the like pathfinding and stuff, like all the behaviors of the rats and cats are on time with the music. So like if you when they're like clustered around you, the way they like sort of dance around, that's all based on that all happens
To the beat.
yeah, if you care to count it.
Yeah.
And that also had the side. The pathfinding used is literally none. Actually, they go in a straight line in this version. They have like basic object avoidance in the updated version that we have on my computer, but in the version that's on itch, they just go in a straight line. I just designed the levels around that.
It works.
They do get stuck sometimes still, but
They have like circular collision volumes with things that allow the rats to like slip around rocks and other targets like that.
yes, they do have a circular collision shape. That was the cheat I used to make that feel better than like words are hard, but yeah, that's why they don't get stuck on literally everything.
Lurk Not Lie, making a rhythm game with 5/8 time would be absolutely evil.
We gotta. Max here's a big rhythm game guy. I don't know anything about music once again.
Yeah.
So
big on Guitar Hero, so I would like that. I also play piano, so I would.
Nice.
That sounds like actual fun.
I think most people just wouldn't be expecting it.
Polyrhythm in a rhythm game, though. That's what you need to. That's what you need to look out for.
What does that mean? What is polyrhythm?
He just got called by his mom, so we could just take a sec and come back to that question.
Okay, no problem. Well, I think I'm just about to get every single corn of kernel that is reachable in the game. I think that's all of them. 12, 77, 76. Does that sound like a pretty definitive... Oh, no, we got another cluster up here. Leave none of it behind. My rat plague. Alright, so... yeah, slippery circle colliders are a great hack. Yeah, I think that totally counts. And... Let's see... Doesn't seem like there's any more corn to find up here. Do you have a count of how many kernels there are in a completed score?
I can do the math. Each patch has 40 kernels, and there were something like 79 or 80. I can't be exact. I'd have to check the project, and even then, the corn patches aren't all numbered evenly in the engine because honestly I don't know why there's gaps in the numbering, but they're there, so I don't know.
79 by 40?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that only gave me 3,160, and then how much does each corn yield?
Oh, right, I forgot about that. Each individual corn has 4 kernels, but each kernel in the corn gives you 4 points towards the count. So that's times 4, which is about right. So there's more. So there's more than 79. There's like 70, 80 something, or 70 or 80.
Yeah, I must have gotten pretty close to all of them then.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have any plans for the game going forward, other than the corn golem boss?
Which will probably not happen at this point. We have a pretty satisfying build now.
Yeah.
I just had my brother play it for the first time today, and he like sat down at the computer and was just awed by it.
Yeah. For that build we did I added a like an arcade mode that where the corn regrows and the rats respawn, and you basically go on forever. It has the unfortunate consequence of the score gets so high its integer underflows.
Yeah, just a quick
not really sure what the solution to that is going to be completely honest.
Use a big integer?
I don't know if the default integers in Godot are signed or unsigned. They're signed for sure, but I forget if it's 32 or 64-bit integers, but I could probably avoid the problem happening if we used a 64-bit integer, but if we didn't, but even if we did, it would still eventually happen. Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, like, a literal big integer, I think would hold. I mean, they're astronomically huge in terms of what their capacity is, or even decimal.
Yeah, I'll look into it. I don't know if Godot supports big integers and stuff like that, so we'll see. But
Zero Iguana, why not a float? Are you kidding? Like, a floating point number is going to lose the precision. You don't need to have a floating point number because there's no decimal. So although you can technically use a float to hold really high values because of scientific notation, you start to lose precision at both the very high end and the low end of the spectrum. Oh, and then as Lurknodali points out, even if Godot doesn't have big integer supported out of the box, you can implement your own version of it relatively easily.
Yeah. Either way, yeah. I guess that's the last thing to do. That's the last thing to do before pushing the update to itch after the Jam voting ends.
I guess the only thing is that eventually your score is going to like wrap around the entire like width of the screen.
Yeah, if you play the game for that long, you kind of that's on you.
Fair enough. All right. Well, anyone who wants to ask any questions in chat, now is your time to get them in. Otherwise, do you have any shout-outs to any people or project you'd like to promote?
Ooh, can we advertise Olivia in any way?
She has a Bandcamp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we? Is there any way we can?
Of course.
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, our music friend. This is the first time we've worked with sound, and it's always been so stressful not having any sound in our games.
So yeah, honestly, she's not here right now. She's not here in the call right now. But like this project was really made what it is by our. Oh yeah, she's on. We have her link credited her Bandcamp on our thing. She doesn't. She has stuff in the works that'll come out at some point. We're working on another game jam right now.
Yeah,
actually, because I personally might have an addiction. And we do, but otherwise we don't really have anything to promote other than a pretty distant future project that might not be worth.
Follow our Twitter that I haven't made yet.
Well, if you do have any future projects,
I guess if you want to follow us in general, though, keep a lookout for Soup Spoon Games.
That's what we've gone with.
Yeah, we've gone with Soup Spoon. We don't know what the last word is. Is games? Is software? So what is it?
We only make games.
We only make
software.
games. That's true. Soup Spoon Games.
So whose itch.io page is this then?
It is mine.
Okay, so you're gonna have a different name for a collective.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'll go ahead and link your itch.io page nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
And
until we have all the brand stuff sorted out, we'll probably still be posting on here. So
sounds good. Oh, Soup Spoon Studio. That does sound good.
I hope that tiny music school in England doesn't sue us then, because I did find another group under that name.
Well, I mean, the question is, did they register as a business under that name?
I'll have to look into that. They're also in the UK, and so it might not matter.
Oh, it probably doesn't.
Yeah. Still.
Also, like, I'm technically registered as Blue Screen Games Incorporated, but I still go by Blue Screen Productions everywhere, so it doesn't really matter what you're registered as versus what you go by.
That's true. We're all in the early stages of that. It's yeah.
Yeah, Soup Spoon was born this week.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's happening? What's going on in chat?
Oh no, just the chat. It's a kind of a blue comment from DuckVB there. That's okay. All right. Well, if you do have another project that collectively that you end up working on, or individually, I'm totally open to seeing them, and please consider sharing them with the Discord at large, and maybe we'll, get some nice feedback going back and forth, especially with the Jam project that you're in the middle of now.
Yeah. Speaking of, we should get back to it.
All right. Best of luck. I won't keep you. And thanks so much for joining on the stream.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.